But you know, Ben, a lot of people are focusing on their timeline. They're trying to figure out how much time do they have to enjoy the state fair in this way.
Well, Alexis, I think if you're at the fair right now, it's a good time to be there because I think the threat for storms is going to keep a lot of people away, but we're not expecting a whole lot of activity until later this afternoon and into the evening. So if you're at the fair now, you easily have 3, even possibly 4 hours before we get the storms rolling through. Now, we are seeing a little early activity that passed through just south of the Buffalo area, moving in through Elk River. This is not associated with the storms we're expected later today, but if you're around the Princeton area, Zimmerman, you might hear a rumble or thunder and a brief heavy shower. The main cold front, however, is still well off to our west, and you can see showers are beginning to line up along that front. As that front tracks eastward through the afternoon, we expect to see those gaps kind of filled in, showers and thunderstorms developing along that front, and that front will swing through our area later today. Now, as far as timing goes, we do expect storms to be near the metro, I'd say just after 4 o'clock. We've highlighted that window in red. That's where we expect the strong to severe storms. Probably an hour or so of stormy weather, so it's not going to be a 4-hour window. It's just that's going to be the timeline of when those storms could move through. Beyond 8, 9 o'clock, it looks like things will calm down for us. And once we get into this evening and especially in the days ahead, we are past the severe weather gauntlet and it looks like a beautiful weekend is in store. So plan on a stormy late afternoon into the early evening hours. The main threat is damaging wind, but we still could see a lot of lightning and thunder and some brief heavy downpours. But again, a beautiful Labor Day weekend is in the forecast. We'll time out things in more detail coming up. Cece.
Ben, that was a good breakdown, and the timing of tonight's storms could make a big impact on a lot of the events at the state fair. Michelle Beck has what you need to know if you're on the grounds when the weather turns.
I'm at the grandstand now where tonight Motley Crue is supposed to perform, but if severe weather hits, this place would be a severe weather shelter. That's exactly what happened Monday night into Tuesday morning. This video was captured just in front of the grandstand where the main show of the day had been canceled and thousands sought shelter. If bad weather comes during tonight's concert, fairgoers are told to listen and watch for announcements from the stage. Besides the grandstand, there are 5 other severe weather shelters throughout the fairgrounds. And you can find those shelters on your Minnesota State Fair app. From there, you can click on the map to find those locations. And today is another senior discount day, so here's to hoping that no severe weather impacts the fairgoers here. At the State Fairgrounds, Michelle Beck, KARE 11 News.
More good advice from Michelle there. Thanks for that. Turning now to some other top headlines. The state trooper charged with killing an 18-year-old in a deadly crash is pleading not guilty. Just hours ago, he faced a judge for the first time. According to a criminal complaint, Trooper Shane Roper was driving 83 miles per hour with his lights and siren off when he sped through a busy intersection by Rochester Mall and crashed into another car. Owatonna High School cheerleader Olivia Flores was in the back seat. Just 2 weeks away from graduating, she didn't survive her injuries.
I got to put my hand on her chest and feel her heart stop beating.
Pronounced her dead, and she had one lone tear run down her right eye. Like her way of saying, I'm sorry.
I'm good.
But I'm okay.
Yeah, Roper is facing 9 charges, including manslaughter and reckless driving. Records show he's been suspended twice and reprimanded 2 other times for similar behavior. His bond is set at $100,000. We're anticipating an update from the courts about the appearance of 3 people who police say were involved in the fireworks chaos from the 4th of July. The police chief says the suspects were deliberately shooting fireworks at officers, other people, and vehicles. In total, 5 people are facing felony riot charges. Well, KARE Minnesota is demanding an investigation into recent vandalism of the Darul Hikmah Islamic Center in Minneapolis.
For the masjid. So they broke it here and then come inside. So this is the Imam's office where they come in and get it inside.
This is surveillance video of the alleged suspect. KARE says the man broke into the building with a metal bar 2 days ago, causing what is estimated to be thousands of dollars in damages. The center leaders believe this could have been a bias motive. Well, right now, city crews are clearing out the troubled Laurie apartments in downtown St. Paul. A judge approved an emergency receiver to take over managing the building when residents brought up concerns about squatters and broken equipment. Crews have already spent hours cleaning trash and debris from the basement. The building's owner is blaming tenants and crime for the building's condition there. Turning to the 2024 race for the White House, today former President Donald Trump will be in Michigan and Wisconsin. Trump's campaign is focused on recapturing battleground states he won in 2016 but lost narrowly in 2020. This afternoon, he'll rally in Michigan, then hold a town hall event in La Crosse, just 2.5 hours from the Twin Cities here. That will be moderated by former Representative Tulsi Gabbard. On the Democratic side, Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Tim Walz are dividing and conquering on the campaign trail. Harris will be down in Savannah, Georgia for a solo rally, and Walz has an event in North Carolina. Tonight, they'll hold their first sit-down interview, together from Raleigh on CNN. That's going to air at 8 p.m. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention is issuing another warning about a deadly listeria outbreak linked to some deli meat. So far, 9 people have died from the outbreak, and the CDC has confirmed 57 cases of listeria across 18 states, including right here in Minnesota. The illness can be especially dangerous for pregnant women and the elderly. An 88-year-old man from New Jersey is among the victims.
He was having trouble breathing. They started doing more testing because they couldn't figure out exactly what it was that was wrong with him. That's what it came back as, listeria.
Other symptoms include fever, headache, and nausea. Boar's Head says it's, quote, conducting a rigorous investigation to identify the root cause of this incident. The company has recalled more than 7 million pounds of its ready-to-eat liverwurst and some other deli meats. Switching gears here, Labor Day travel is just getting started, and over the next 2 days, MSP is expected to get really busy. Audrey Russo shows us how today's weather could make a big impact.
A smooth morning at MSP with very few flight cancellations or delays, but now at noontime, we're about 4 hours away from some severe weather that could come through and really impact people's flights as we head into Labor Day weekend. It's an unfortunate way to kick off what's supposed to be a record-setting holiday weekend. TSA expects to scan 17 million people between today and September 4th, a nearly 9% increase from last year. MSP spokesperson confirms to me that today will be the busiest day at the airport, with 44,000 people expected to make their way through security. So if you have a flight scheduled for tonight when the severe weather hits, what do you do? Well, travel experts say now is the time to start looking up other options with different airlines. They say that the airline you're initially booked with may not rebook you on the most convenient flight to get to your destination on time. So they say looking for other options with other airlines before you get to the airport is going to be your best bet. Now, historically, MSP actually fares pretty well over the Labor Day weekend. I took a look at some federal statistics over the last 5 years and found that they rank MSP as the second most on-time airport in the country. Whether or not today's severe weather derails some of that, knocks us down a peg, well, only time will tell. Back to you.
Thanks, Audrey, for that. And if you're hitting the road instead, gas prices are going down. Right now, the state average is $3.18. Depending on your tank, it'll cost you about $50 to fill up. You'll find cheaper gas, though, outside of Hennepin County. $3.17 if you stop over in Monticello, $3.11 in St. Cloud. Overnight, the state's education department released its report card for the student achievement gap, test scores, and attendance. This year, the grades are mixed. So here's what we found. Attendance rates improved nearly 5% last school year among all students. The data shows 74.5% attending at least 90% of the time, and that's up from less than 70% the year before. When it comes to reading and math, not much of a change. You can see about half of students meet or exceed their grade level standards, nearly 50% in reading and about 45% in math. Next week, many schools across the state will be back in session, and by law, they'll need to create a cell phone policy. Jessica Hart takes us through why that could be a tricky decision.
When students go back to class next week, they're probably going to have a cell phone in hand. But should they?
I think this is like a tough spot for school districts.
University of Minnesota professor Marguerite Ortman says a total cell phone ban might not be the best answer. She says students will just find a way around it. Instead, Ortman says schools should focus on teaching students how to use their phones responsibly and in moderation.
It's a whole different thing what we use our cell phones for now. It's not just that connection piece. It's like it's everything. Students do their assignments on their Google Drive, their Dropboxes, all their assignments. I had students even 15 years ago typing papers on their phones because I didn't have a computer at home.
By next March, every Minnesota school district will need to have a cell phone policy in place. Well, in less than 7 hours, the Gophers will take the field for their first game of the season. They're hosting North Carolina at Huntington Bank Stadium. Despite being the home team, the Gophers are 2-point underdogs. The Tar Heels won last year's matchup in Chapel Hill, but this time both teams will have new starting quarterbacks. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m. and it's a gold out. Also, heads up, this is right around the time we're expecting those storms, so prepare for that. August is Black Business Month, and in less than an hour, the Neighborhood Development Center is hosting a free summit. It will provide sessions and workshops to empower Black-owned businesses. It's at their St. Paul location. That's from 1 to 5 p.m.